Hey up everyone, what's going on and welcome back to Sheffield United, where there's been a bit of a technical error. The recording that included the Man United and Liverpool match with the transfer deadline day, the recording for that is unusable, unfortunately. However, what I'm going to do is basically recap that episode at the beginning of this one and then do the first leg of the Europa knockout draws. And the next episode will be the Chelsea match that's in between them, along with the second leg of that situation. So that's the episodes this week. It's a span of 1 week, but you're getting 2 episodes out of that short period of time in game. So first things first, we'll start with the Manchester United match. It's a match where not a lot generally happened. 6 yellow cards, and then in the 88th minute, a decisive goal occurred. Now, bear in mind, Manchester United have bested us on all occasions so far. So we're getting to the end of the game, and I'm getting concerned that the highlight's about to go against us. They're about to nick a late winner. Alas, it's Dominic Calvert-Lewin, because of course it's Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Wonderful ball in from the left. Dominic Calvert-Lewin finishes, and realistically, we were the better side in that match for the first time against Man United. Man United just had our number every single game last season, and for the first game this year. And I think we played in the Carabao. We got knocked out by them there as well. So we played them, I think, about 5 or 6 times already. And we've lost every time. The XG here should have said 2-1. It's 1-0. I'd rather have the clean sheet, actually, because Xhaka's now up there on clean sheets. So now I'd better go on to transfers in case there's any spoilers in the Liverpool game in terms of personnel. Basically, the big news is Oli McBurney was sold for £30 million to Leeds, where he's valued at basically £30 million. He's a very good player. He's 3 stars, staying at 3 stars, not going to get any better, and for £30 million, I'll take it. What you also miss is the fact that he wanted another new contract after signing one just last year. I gave him a new contract last year, January rolls around again. Oh, can I have a new contract? I'm a much better player than I was when I signed the last one. He literally isn't. His star rating has not moved, his attributes are not moved. Instead of dealing with this every January, I sold him. The fact that it's Leeds is probably going to be a bit contentious. Especially as he came through Barnsley on the way through on all this. And then despite rejecting a contract with a Chinese club where they offered me £42 million for Lys Mousset, he did go for 33, which might rise to £42 million. Ren came in for this player. He's one of those players where I figured I would try and cash in, because let's be honest, he's not going to get much better than this. And £33 million by itself, you can see valued at 27, is quite good. He's probably going to want a new contract at some point. I wouldn't have given him one at that time because he was second choice. He was getting a bit moody about being second choice actually already. Good pace, decent everything else. Not the best player, did well for us last year. He got 20 goals, of course, over the course of the entire year. Something that Dominic Calvert-Lewin beat by Christmas. But injury prone, never really saw that. 33 million guaranteed, I think is good value in itself. 42 million if he plays a certain number of games for them. I think it's the full 50, but yeah, we'll see what happens there. Of course, with Oli McBurney going, he was barely ever in this, even on the subs actually, just because of the personnel we had available. He never really fit on the bench either. Lys Mousset was always on the bench, of course, as the striking option, which meant I did need to get a striker in, and Eagle Eye viewers probably has noticed who it is, because his name's on the board. Welcome to Sheffield United, Edinson Cavani. His pace has already dropped off one, which is a little irritating, but 3 stars now, will be 3 stars then. £725,000 I paid for Lys Mousset's replacement, which gives me a net profit in the striker role this year of £32 million. 62 if you include Oli McBurney as a striker rather than the AM that I was using him as. A veteran striker, Edinson Cavani. Napoli, PSG, Manchester United, Sheffield United. The natural progression. He's already scored 3 goals in his only start in the league so far. He's come on as a sub 3 times, but his only start, 3 goals. And they came against Norwich City, who hate Eurogrind strikers in general, it seems. The spectre of Luis Suarez is far gone for Norwich. However, Cavani rolls up and scores 3. What I find especially amusing by that is the other Luis Suarez, the younger one, that Newcastle signed, scored against Norwich as well. It's fated. Doesn't matter which Luis Suarez it is, it's fated he'll score against Norwich. And Eurogrind strikers in general, apparently. 3 for Cavani, 1 for Norwood, 4-1 there. So I better get you caught up with all the other results as well. And try to remember where the last one was. We'd beaten Barnsley. That's what it was. We'd only played Fulham between that. 4-1, Fulham. 4 different scorers. There's 2 own goals. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, as you saw, got the winner there. I'm actually not going to bring you the highlights for the Liverpool one because it was 4-1. All started with a Rogerio own goal, which was a bit ridiculous. But Calvert-Lewin got the equaliser. I thought everything's going fine here. 4-1. Lost to Arsenal immediately after that. 2-0. Probably the worst performance in general. And then Crystal Palace happened. They scored in the first minute directly from kickoff. They scored in the 4th minute. And I thought, what on earth's going on here? Because Crystal Palace are bottom. We had lost first place by losing to Liverpool and Arsenal, worth noting, but we were still in the Champions League spots. And we were losing 2-0 in 4 minutes to the bottom of the league. I thought, this is typical Football Manager. Then Calvert-Lewin scored 3 goals in 10 minutes and turned it around before half-time. And after half-time, we made it 6-3 in total. Calvert-Lewin with 4 for that match. Didn't score against Newcastle, where we lost 4-2 in the FA Cup 5th round. Don't know what happened. Can't explain it. But thankfully, morale's back up again thanks to the 4-1 victory. So Premier League-wise, we are 3rd. Everyone's on 29 games now. Man United on 28, but they can't leapfrog us. In fact, a nice comfortable 4 points on Manchester City as things stand, and Calvert-Lewin up to 28 goals in the league. Haaland's not scored in a while. Neither has Martial, actually. Yeah, Calvert-Lewin, 28 goals in 28 league games. 31 goals in 30 appearances starts in general. It's genuine madness. There's still 9 league games left to go and all the Europa games. So I dread to think how many goals he's actually going to get by the end of this season. But you may have seen there, our Europa League knockout is against Porto. Not the easiest. We were drawn first again, by the way, the first tie. So after getting Newcastle in the first tie in the FA Cup 5th round, immediately anticlimactic by getting drawn first in the Europa knockout against Porto, who are 3rd, admittedly, in Portugal at the moment. Benfica destroying that right now. I don't know what is going on in Portugal right now, because there's still 5 teams there. 4 teams quite tightly grouped behind a runaway Benfica. Pepe's still playing. He's got to be about 40. 39. I was joking. He's actually not that far off. He's still really good. 10 pace and 9 acceleration at 39 is genuinely insane. They are 3rd, not doing particularly well for Porto standards. Might have a bit of a chance. There's the other draws. We could have had Shakhtar, we could have had Celtic, we could have had PSV. Nope. Porto. Admittedly, we avoided teams like Atletico Madrid, Dortmund and PSG. Actually, if PSG dropped down, who were in the Champions League group? Madrid and Lazio, I presume, are the ones to progress out of that. Wait, how did they finish 3rd? 2 draws, 3 wins and a loss. And they finished 3rd. Oh my. Head-to-heads on 11 points each. That's incredible. That's actually incredible. Atletico and Arsenal started in the competition, so they weren't drop-down teams, actually. Major news, injury-wise, Curtis Jones out for 2 months, and Ender Stevens just took one as well. 3 weeks for him, which makes things slightly problematic at left-back, because I now don't have a backup because Ruggeri's not registered for that. A bunch of players now have work permits, and I have none of them registered because the only players I could register for this were Cavani and Gomez, who steps into the absent Oliver Burney space. But of course, we will play... No, we can't play James Maddison because he's injured as well. 2 days. We'll be back against Chelsea / the second leg. I'm actually going to have to start Ryan Brewster despite the fact he's not played very well in the last 5 games. I am somewhat regretting the McBurney sale now. But Calvert-Lewin is theoretically... Oh, he's a poacher, that's why he's not happy there. There we are, that's better. Cavani prefers to be poacher, so that's why I played him as. So for this one, it's going to be Xhaka in goal, Kolasinac, Badiashile, Fofana, Caicedo, Berge and Hendricks because Gagliardini's been woeful of late, Brewster, Gomez and Edwards and Calvert-Lewin. I can't explain having 2 6.5ers on the same pitch. Caicedo on a yellow card warning as well, worth noting. Could be out for the second leg. I did send Bogle out on loan because he wasn't playing. Someone wanted him, so I let him go. You can't seriously tell me that Brewster deserves to start. No, I can't. So a few names I recognise. I recognise Jim City from my Napoli side of things, of course, in Serie A. I've acquired him at some point. Didn't quite get to see the rest of their side. I should have looked at the main list, but Esguerra I recognise. I don't think he starts at Porto. Evan Nilsson, Taremi, I think is already at Porto. I'm mostly trying to think of FIFA Ultimate Team cards more than anything. Berge has picked up this one. Calvert-Lewin doesn't get there. Diego Costa is very much a starting goalkeeper for Porto originally. I do know that. He's a young Portuguese goalkeeper with quite a nice bit of potential. He's probably one of the better younger goalkeepers in the game. Calvert-Lewin might get on the end of that. No, he does not. He gets headed on once more and intercepted. Again, for the 3rd time this highlight, we've regained possession. Gomez going to charge through the middle here. Calvert-Lewin just lets him do it, really. And, well, that could have been better. So, yeah, Sergio Gomez got a work permit, so he can play. That was part of the reason why I allowed McBurney to go, because now I had Maddison and Gomez as definite attacking playmaker midfielders. Palacios got a work permit as well. But with Burge who can play there, and Collado who can play centrally, that nearly went in. Edwards can play centrally if he has to. He's not perfect in the middle, but he can do it. Evian went out on loan, by the way, of course, because Renier coming in, getting a work permit. Evian then became 4th choice right winger. And I didn't really need 4 because Collado's here on loan, so next year I'll be back down to only 3 right wingers. Caicedo tries to play through Calvert-Lewin and fails. Badiashile doesn't get Gomez into the play, but Caicedo deals with that for the time being. Burge plays it off to Brewster eventually. Brewster will find Klasnak on the overlap. Since Say has come back from injury, he's been really, really good. Burge on the edge of the box. I was sort of expecting something there briefly. If Calvert-Lewin's onside here, I'll be amazed. I am amazed. So just his 32nd goal of the season in February. How is he onside? Genuinely. Oh, I could just see it there. He is genuinely onside. In real time, he felt a lot further forward than he actually was, but you can see it here with the lines. He's actually quite significantly onside. I didn't need to draw the lines myself there. He was very much on. Immediate equaliser. I mean, it's an away goal, which is nice. It means we could try and hold for a 0-0 at our place, but still 50 minutes of the game to go. Anything could happen. I'm going to say nearly the first half done at this stage. The XG kind of just a regular game. That was not really a great effort. Sort of about half a goal worth of chances each. It's kind of a not really exciting, not really boring match. Just slap down the middle of the Goldilocks game. We'll point that finger. I'm actually going to say I'm not happy because it's going to fire them up more than anything. I'm more annoyed that we've only had 2 shots on target and we're letting them have shots. They may not necessarily be high chance shots, but we are letting them get into shooting positions. They are just being rubbish at the shooting so far, as we just saw, of course. Diogo Costa finds Luis Diaz. Still Luis Diaz. Oh, that would have gone in if Xhaka didn't get that touch on. That was a brilliant save, actually. Fantastic save as Marlon pops that one in. Hendricks clears. I've just realised I've not checked up on Sergio Dutra this year. I wonder if he's still the same prospect he was last year. I'm just reminded because Costa played ahead of him in the Portuguese national side, despite how good Dutra was. Marcus Edwards on a 6.3. That's the one position I do have replacements for, thankfully. Badiashile on a 6.5. Can't really do much there. Caicedo I can bring Smith on for, but I won't do it right now. But 6.3, no. Edwards probably one of the more tired players as well. He's only just come on. Took him another 5 minutes. Okay, so Caicedo's on a 6.3. That's a straight swap for Adam Smith. And then the third change would be whomever tires first. Brewster and Burge are both tied at the same point there. How that hasn't gone in the goal? I was going to say, how did that not go in? And then it bounced around for another couple of seconds. I reckon we're better off bringing Gagliardini in the midfield, getting a little bit more fresh legs in that centre of the pitch. 5 minutes to go. I'm just going to encourage them at the end. That has cheered them all up. And it looks like it. Oh, no. Spoke too soon. Spoke too soon. Smith. Fresh legs, of course. He's got Collado ahead of him with also fresh legs. Hendricks, who hasn't really played too many games of late. So fresher legs than most. Klasnak on the left. Brewster now. 2 of the more tired players, but Brewster just... I don't know what he did there. He did so well to get around the defender, then just stopped and let him come back again. His guy out to Musaba, and is it a chance for Porto after all? Yes, it is, because that is an insane ball and an equally great save. And I was about to say, it'll be 1-1 after all. But no, one more highlight, just to... Don't know really what happened there, because Smith didn't move his legs, but the ball cannoned off him into the player in front of him for a throw-in. So 30 seconds, and if there is still something to this, I'm going to be really annoyed because Porto have just got the ball back. Now, Badiashile should get that, but it's just going straight to their right back because Badiashile wasn't paying attention. Brewster has tripped Esgaio. I feel like we might just be being mugged off here with an end-game highlight. But Fabio Pereira might have a go from distance, and he does, and it goes wide. And 1-1 does set things up quite nicely, because it does mean that 0-0 is in our favour. We didn't really do much the second half, is what worries me. We had 1 shot on target in the second half. Gavin Lewis scored, of course, though. Apparently, we were destined for defeat there, so I'll say well done. We've done well to avoid it, and that will inspire them for midweek, where we play top of the table Chelsea, who have snuck back to the top. Of course, they won last year's Premier League. Frank Lampard doing wonders in my save. I think we deserve something for the match. Why did I not take off Benoit Badiashile? Because I don't take off defenders, basically. I still can't believe PSG drew Atletico Madrid in the second knockout round. That's an incredible draw. Was Xhaka? Did Xhaka make 10 saves? That's why he's in goal and not Aaron Ramsdale. I mean, that doesn't help his case, does it? Jesus. How is he getting worse? I bet he isn't. So just to round off the rest of those ones, Monaco hold Celtic, Sporting get 1 over Fiorentina. Dortmund go 2-1 down to Atalanta. That's another big draw, actually. Both of those sides are dangerous. Arsenal 2 over Shakhtar. One of the more dangerous sides, Arsenal, of course. Not sure how I prefer between Valencia and Hertha in this year's game. PSV holding Leipzig is quite good as well. If we can get PSV through, I'd rather them than Leipzig. I'm aware that Man City does follow the second leg, but I am just going to leave this as what you didn't see in the missing episode, basically, and Porto. At the start of this save, who thought I was going to get Edinson Cavani? I don't really sign older players in general, but he was transfer listed for £725,000, and I thought, well, if he's interested, in he comes. What I love about this, by the way, is the biography in the top right. Truly one of football's global superstars has expressed his determination to do well for club and impress manager me. Global superstar wants to impress me. Thank you, Edison. That's exactly the right kind of attitude to have. And turned 35 basically 2 weeks after we signed him, so happy birthday, Edison, for that one as well. So I'll see you next time for Chelsea, top of the league. And Porto, Chelsea without any injury worries as well, I did just notice there. Great. So I'll see you for both of those matches. Until next time, thank you for watching. Ta-ra.